In this video, I'll show you how to draft a strapless bandeau top with side gathering directly on the fabric, and in the next video, I'll show you how to sew it. The fabric must be stretchy and have elasticity in all directions. Here's an important point. To make sure the top fits well and stretches nicely instead of hanging loose, we need to determine the stretch factor of the fabric. Mark 10 centimeters on the fabric, then stretch it slightly the way it will stretch in the finished garment. Check where the mark ends up on the ruler. Mine is at 12.5 centimeters. Now divide the first number by the second. 10 divided by 12.5 equals 0.8. That's the stretch factor of the fabric. When drafting the pattern, we will multiply all horizontal measurements, such as bust, waist, and so on, by this number. While I draft, I'll be using my own measurements. You should use yours. I recommend taking measurements while wearing clothing with side seams, so you can measure more accurately along those lines. Fold the fabric, because we'll be drafting half of the piece. Let's start with the back. I prefer working from the bottom up, since it's easier to mark at the lower edge, while the rest of the fabric stays out of the way. Measure the bottom line of the top from side to side. Mine is 37 centimeters. Divide by 2, because we're making half, that's 18.5. Multiply by the stretch factor, 0.8, and you get 14.8. Add 1 centimeter seam allowance, which makes 15.8. Measure 15.8 centimeters from the fold at the bottom. Also add 1 centimeter downwards for seam allowance. From the bottom line of the top, measure upward to the waistline. Mine is 7 centimeters. Mark 7 centimeters up along the fold. Now measure the width at the waist in the back. Mine is 34 centimeters. Divide by 2, that's 17. Multiply by 0.8, which is 13.6, and add 1 centimeter. That's 14.6. Mark 14.6 centimeters from the waist point outward. Next, measure from the waistline up to where you want the top edge to be. Mine is 13 centimeters. Mark that on the fabric from the waist point upward. Now measure the top width from side to side. Mine is 39 centimeters. Divide by 2, that's 19.5. Multiply by 0.8, which is 15.6, and add 1 centimeter. That's 16.6. From the top point, mark 16.6 centimeters out. Connect all the marks smoothly. Add 1 centimeter seam allowance along the top edge. Cut 2 identical back pieces, because this top will have 2 layers of fabric. That way it won't be see-through, and all the seams will be hidden inside. Now, let's move on to the front piece. The process is almost the same, but the front will be longer because of the bust volume. That's why the gathering will appear at the front, giving the top its unique look. Fold the fabric again. Measure the bottom width of the top from side to side at the front. Mine is 38 centimeters. Divide by 2, that's 19. Multiply by 0.8, which is 15.2. Add 1 centimeter seam allowance, and you get 16.2. Mark this out from the fold. Add 1 centimeter downwards for the seam allowance. Measure from the bottom line of the top to the waist. For me, it's 7 centimeters. Mark this on the fabric. Now measure the waist width at the front. Mine is 35 centimeters. Divide by 2, multiply by 0.8, and add 1 centimeter. That gives 15. From the waist point, mark 15 centimeters outward. Now we measure upwards from the waist to the top edge, but this time follow your body shape. Measure from the waist, under the bust, over the fullest point of the bust, and up to the top line. Mine is 26 centimeters. Mark 26 centimeters upward from the waistline on the fabric. Then measure the top width from side to side at the front. Mine is 47 centimeters. Divide by 2, that's 23.5. Multiply by 0.8, which is 18.8, and add 1 centimeter. That's 19.8. Mark this on the fabric. Now connect all the side points smoothly. Add 1 centimeter seam allowance at the top. Cut out 2 identical front pieces. And that's it. Watch the next video to see the sewing process.